You're listening to Call That Girl's Office 365 show. I'm Lisa Hendrickson, your hostess. This is show number 57. Just a reminder, you can find all my shows and notes at callthatgirl.biz/office365 or at callthatgirl.podbean.com. And also now, hopefully, I'm going to start having all the shows up on YouTube, so you can check them out at youtube.com/callthatgirl. And before we get on with our guest interview, I want to take a quick moment to thank our sponsors at River. They are web and email specialists, and they've been my vendor for 3.5 years. I'm very happy with their services and their sales. They're all based out of Florida. They're open 24/7. Most of the techs at the first level answer everything right away. And if you don't find that they can answer it, they usually move your call to another level engineer. You never have to call Microsoft, and that's why I love working with them. And also their new SharePoint support, not new, but they've got some SharePoint support that's pretty awesome. Everybody needs that, don't we, Tom?
Oh, yep.
The new SharePoint. So anyway, before we get going, I want to introduce our guest here, Tom Lawrence from Lawrence Technology Services out of Taylor, Michigan. And some of you might know Tom from, well, let's just start the list of many places you can find him. I found him on the IT Bog group on Facebook, the Information Technology Business Owners Group, which we could talk about that a little bit too. But then after I started seeing all of Tom's posts and stuff, I started following him because he's kind of a character. He's fun. And so I became his friend on Facebook, and that's where you really get to see the glory of Tom, is all his selfies with all his nerdy fun, which I just get a kick out of Tom, to be honest with you. And then I started going, well, what else does Tom do? So Tom's on YouTube, and Tom has a podcast show. And then I was kind of like, man, I kind of feel like Tom is like my internet twin brother.
We just didn't run into each other.
I just love it. And for me to find somebody that has the same character, I don't know, feel I do, I just was like, you got to be on the show, Tom. And what got me to invite him was he put out a little Google Analytics thing. So that's going to be our topic this week, is Google Analytics marketing. And there you go, Tom. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
Yeah. If you want to go ahead and just tell us about your business first, or the things you want to discuss, and then we'll get into some topics.
Well, I started out on an 8-bit adventure on an Atari computer. Oh, wait, let's fast forward a little bit.
8-bit.
Yeah, 8-bit, man. That's right. My childhood was Atari 2600,
Exactly.
But I started out in the IT industry from playing with, my TRS-80 and my Atari 2600, video game console. I actually started as a first job in 95, working for small mom and pop shops. Worked my way up into being a corporate IT manager for a tier 1 Ford supplier. Taylor, Michigan is actually just on the edge of Detroit. So we're the motor city here. And so I worked for a big Ford supplier, which is a transportation provider, and I got in on the ground floor, and through a good series of happenstance, ended up being their IT director as the company expanded. Had about a $1.2 million budget for my IT, so I had lots of cool stuff, and we were doing cool things. And the company kind of had some issues, Cayman Island accounts, IRS. There was a clash. Yeah. Took 2 years of depositions to sort out what the hell they did. I don't know either. I didn't care. So I took an opportunity in 2003 to start Lawrence Technologies. And I started out just servicing businesses. We expanded later to service retail as well. So we're kind of a hybrid business where we're doing both at the same time. So I have a retail store. So if you look around and find my name, PC Pickup, we named the retail store different because we realized the needs are different for those people that need their Facebook and Candy Crush to work versus people who go, my business needs to run. So now we're a full service IT, everything from infrastructure, cabling, Wi-Fi, build outs, security cameras, retail store. So it's really multifaceted what we're doing.
Cool.
But we're doing some brand consolidation, and I've seen this in the IT blog, some discussion about it, of whether or not, having multiple names. And we're finding the inconvenience of it is a little bit daunting. So over the last year, we're bringing everything just under the Lawrence brand for simplicity. That way there's not this, which company are you? We are the company. And now we're just going to bring it all back under one.
Yeah, it makes sense with, especially since you've outgrown one of the businesses,
Yeah, we're still doing the retail stuff, but I'm not pushing it as hard. So not like I'm canceling any of it. It's got a great flow. We got over 5,000 clients and a lot of them recurring on the retail side. So it's one of those, I don't really need to do a lot with it. I just do a couple Facebook posts once in a while with it. And that's enough to keep the retail people coming in. I'm not really, my ad spend on it has dropped dramatically, but it hasn't killed the sales at all. So,
oh, wow. Yeah. That makes sense then to focus on the technology services.
Yeah. We're getting into what I call hybrid managed services. Okay. So we're doing the managed service stuff, break fix, and we're really focused on small businesses. So we have about 420 companies that we do IT for.
Nice.
But a lot of them are very small. A lot of them only have 3 or 4 computers. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't add up to be as a lot of computers. Some of the bigger ones have 100, workstations and servers. So we have a couple of big clients that represent bigger dollars for us, but we don't mind servicing. We have a private practice, for example, that has one single computer. She's a psychologist. And she's got one computer, and she's on her MSP. She wants everything just to be right all the time. And she's a counselor. She makes good money. She prepaid it for 6 months.
Nice.
And we don't mind. And she's actually been a really good client. And she's only called us once in the last 3 months.
Wow. I used to have all that kind of services a while ago. It was nice. I had an MSP provider partner, but some people do want the full on everything. They just want to be taken care of if there's a problem. Yeah, that's how, when I started changing my business to be like, is that something I want or not? And I was like, no, because Tom, guys like you rely on me for help. I get a lot of tech calls. So I'm like, I'm better off just staying where I'm happy, which is servicing everybody.
Yeah, you do that. You find your focus, and you're an expert in Outlook. So there's a need for that because the world's changing. We're a big pusher of Google Apps and that, but there's still half my clients are using Outlook, if not more. There's technical challenges. Outlook's not a simplistic product. It's a very full service, very encompassing system. So, and the people that need it, they have a lot of real specific things, whether they're working in healthcare. We have an insurance client. It's part of their bidding process is the Outlook plugins that are custom written that tie into their quoting process to rate their insurance and automatically add the attachments and fill it in. There's an entire set of plugins that came with their insurance. Nice. That they resell for. So they have a tight integration. They can't switch. They need Exchange Server. They need Outlook. It's a full integration package. That ain't going away. It's big in the insurance industry. It's big in some of the, we have a healthcare provider, the same thing. They have an integration with specialized Outlook plugins that are for their rating for their HIPAA plugins and the way they send their quotes out. It's all integrated in Outlook. There's no web app for it.
I don't get those calls yet, but you know what I did get a call for? I think I told you that Microsoft Dynamics CRM.
Yeah.
Oh, and the guy actually said it wasn't the product for him. So I was like, damn it. I really wanted to kind of get in there.
Yeah.
I want to kind of test it out and see what I could do with it. So now it's either up to me to go and do it myself and get the experience because I know it. I know Outlook, and it's to try to beat it up a little bit, but I don't know. With the CRM and the plugins and stuff, I get so there's so many. I can't keep up with learning them. So I just know the top 9. Those are the standard ones everybody knows. So, hoofda. All right, Tom. Well, let's do this. Let's scoot into the topics I want to talk about. Are you done with all the? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you didn't.
Okay. Sorry.
I can rant about myself forever, but
I know.
We're moving on.
We can have a show of no topic, probably.
Yeah.
It just cracks me up because I was saying I love chatting with you. All right, well, let's talk about some of the stuff that was put up on the Facebook group. So I think I'd asked you to show me your stats. And that kind of got me excited because, first of all, I don't know a lot of techs that get into the stats part of Google Analytics.
Right.
I check that every day almost. I mean, I'm like, not every day, but often. And I like watching my blogs, and I like watching the trends. And I saw that you did some unique stuff with the analytics, with your blogs and the SEO and all that stuff. And that's what I kind of wanted to talk about with because of our audience. They're doing the same thing. But the techs that aren't doing the analytics don't know then. So, I mean, if you didn't do your analytics, how would you know what was hot in your blogs?
Yeah, and that's, I have a weird, I was pulling it up because I'm curious about this. Again, it's been a little while since I looked at it, but I, a while ago, had a big, Canadian. Oh, India and the UK are now ranking them, but I have a couple of them that Russia fell down to 6, but Russia was a big part of my analytics.
Really?
And it turns out they really liked my firewall videos, but that's the thing. If you're not constantly watching why people come to your site, and that's like we can't write up a new client. My guys, when they're standing at the front counter, the real world people, there's no way they can even add a customer without asking the question of how did you find out about us? Yeah. They're trained, and they can't go forward in the procedure. Like programmatically, they can't. We wrote our own point of sale system, and they can't go until that question's been answered. They can't leave it blank. So I'm constantly watching client acquisition, and I'm watching on how we acquired the clients on the analytics, because I got to know why people are coming there. And then I'd also shared some of my stats with you for like my Facebook videos, and it's the same thing. I did the little Pokemon Go video as a promotion, and that's my kind of, you take popular items, trending items that people want to talk about, and then you bring them a little bit back, and you're keeping yourself in front of them. And that's the key, because now I'm on the tip of their tongue, and it's just weird. Someone sees that, and they message me, and they go, I have a password problem with my laptop. And I said, oh, okay, bring it. And I just sent a message back, hey, bring it to our retail store. Here's the address. And it came off a Pokemon video.
Nice.
So it's the little things like that. But you're constantly keeping yourself out in front of them all the time. That's a big key. But then you have to know how to get out in front of them. Look at your analytics. Dig into it. I really like the user flow on when you're looking at the acquisition. When you look at like where they came in and where they dropped off, like what they clicked through, and you kind of build a story in your head of, okay, they landed on this blog post, and then from this blog post they were interested in this one, and then they actually went to the About Me page because they wanted to learn more about my company. And if they stop there or go to the contact, we don't get as many emails as I'd like. I've tried. I don't really know why. That's not really good. They seem to reach out and call me more than anything else.
Yeah. The lead capture part, is that what you're saying is you have a little problem with? Yeah. You know what? I think it's because this is where I'm going to go with this right now, is that we do things on social media that is not always for a client to call us. Right. It's for your technicians to learn. Right. So a lot of our analytics aren't necessarily, they're going to make us money by either clicking on a video or something or whatever. But that's why it's harder when you're doing social media stuff like we are, and helpful to everybody, not just the clients.
Yeah, you got to break it out, and that's been helpful too. We had a school that contracted me for some work, and they had seen the videos, and the technician there was stuck on something. So then they reached out to me because they seen my videos, and the video was more tech focused. But then they said, you know what, this guy must know. So then he talked his boss into contracting me to do the work remotely. Nice. So it's one of those. It's kind of indirect, but it ends up directly helping me, which is really good. I helped this doctor's office out in Florida. Same thing. They had some firewall problems. And I did mention you earlier, before we talked to the show, a guy from Turkey. And he just had one little question. It was an easy fix about the way the VPN was set up. And I'm like, Turkey needs a VPN out of the country. Interesting.
Yeah. And you never know who that real guy is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're going to tell you. No. Well, I like that. What I've been finding in the past few months is that the clients are going to YouTube with their Google searches. So what I'm finding is, I did this the other day. I said, I need to go look that up. I go, that's a YouTube search. I actually made the distinction of how my answer was going to be solved by going to which place, Google or YouTube.
Yep.
And I was like, I need a YouTube for that, because I actually needed to see it or to do it. And that's why I'm finding more clients are saying that we're finding your YouTube videos, and I'm really not putting that many more out there.
There's such a good metric there. I mean, the second largest search engine in the world is YouTube, not Bing, not Yahoo. It's YouTube. That's the second largest. And with Google owning them, when you look at the search results, they're littered with YouTube videos. You have a link to a website, and you have a link to a YouTube video. So there's just so much back and forth on that. And one of the ways you could even market more is by doing little 30-second videos, how to do this in Outlook or how to do that in Outlook. The reality is, there's videos on how to take a transmission out of the car. And what they usually do is they watch it and they go, well, I'm not doing that. That looks really hard. I will call this person who clearly knows how to do it and have them take care of it. My firewall videos are, one of them's an hour and 15 minutes of
Wow.
detailed step-by-step procedures on configuring it. All the answers are in that video, and some of them watch it, some of them get partway through the video, and they're like, you know what? I can just call him, and he'll do it.
I think the key to good how-to stuff is to not get down to the detail step-by-step like you would find in a blog, but to kind of go, so then you need to go do this. You export it out, blah, 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 import it in, and you don't take the steps that they need. So then they're like, well, I don't know how to export. I don't know how to import. So it encourages them. They might Google that. But to my clients, for my rate, they're not going to go do that technical step, I don't think, because it's scary for them.
Yeah.
Their data, it's their outlook. It's a lot different than.
They're worried about it, and they're worried they're going to screw it up, and it's their contacts. And especially if you work in the sales industry specifically, your lifeblood is that contact list you developed, curated, and exported and managed for every job you have as a salesperson. You hire a salesperson not because they're a good salesperson, but because they came pre-built in with their contacts, and they're like, I got this from the old company. It's on this phone. Cool. That's why we're hiring you.
Yeah, you don't know how many hijacks I get paid to do, Tom.
Yeah.
Client calls me on a Sunday night. Can you remote into my computer? And I'm like, for $200 an hour, I will on a Sunday night because they're leaving tomorrow. And I'm like, I'll go back up anybody's stuff and put it onto a new server. I don't care. I have no qualms with that. Tom, before we get going, maybe we should explain to the listeners what Google Analytics are, just in case they don't know.
Yeah.
So first I'm going to say, like, the best – is your website in WordPress?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I figured. It seems like you're a WordPress kind of guy. So if your website is on Google Analytics or it's set up with it, you can go to a special link that Google gives you, and you can track your website clicks. Now, I'm looking at mine right now because, Tom, I wanted to ask you a question about something. But
sure.
You can actually see a lot of data, and it's almost too much data. I don't look at it all myself. My favorite buttons are behavior.
Yes.
And then I go to overview. And then I look to see what my page views look like. I'm not really a big one on worrying about the bounce rate, which the bounce rate is how fast they leave. I don't even care about bounce rates. That's kind of old in my opinion. But I like looking at the page views and the pages that are top ranked. And that's what got me interested in talking about this with you, Tom, was your stuff and your top links were incredibly different than mine. And I mean, like, because I blog like you do, errors and FYI stuff, and you did some SEO stuff. So you can actually see in these analytics what every blogger page is ranking at and how many clicks you get. And then, of course, Tom, you go into more detail. As you said, you could watch where they exit and all that. I've never even looked.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a user flow, and take a look at the user flow and break that down.
All right. I'll do that
here. I might even have, I'm trying to remember if I have, as I've done I do a lot of public speaking, and that's what led me to YouTube is I've been doing for years public speaking, and like, I missed the boat because I should have recorded everything I did. But I've done a couple training things, and a lot of what I talk about when I train people on it is watching the user flow, because you watch the ins and the outs, and you're kind of, like I said, that's where I'm really building my story of where it is. So when I look, for just like a couple months of how many people directly landed on my structured cabling, because we've been really working on that page to capture a lot because it's a big ticket item for us. And I see 2,000 people, that was their start page, not my home page, but specifically starting there.
Do you want me to screen share? I could show you mine. Yeah. I mean, I thought that now that I'm doing video for the shows, if you're watching if you're watching a podcast, listening to a podcast, you can check out the YouTube. So let me screen share this, Tom, and at least we can show people what I'm talking about. See my mouse? Yep. You see the mouse?
Yep.
Okay. So this is where you said the user flow is, and I have no idea what this is. But
right, you're looking at because you're looking at it by country here, so you can change it.
Oh, let's go to my favorite country, India, where of course all my fans are on my Facebook page. That's an inside joke. Sorry. Okay, so let's see. Let's first start by showing folks the my favorite is the behavior overview. Okay. So here is where I'm moving the mouse. You can see what kind of clicks I get on a daily basis. Now,
Yes.
mind you, these are all, during the week it's high, during the weekend it's low. This day I had something awesome happen. I don't know what, 515. But then down here are my, like, what I would call the good blogs and the good pages right here. This one here, Tom, this blog's been out for like 6 years.
And it's still a big hit.
God, I rank on #1 for almost all these keywords for years now, yeah. But I don't want to kill that blog, even though I don't do the tech support anymore, because I'm worried I might lose ranking somehow. So it just stays there. But this one is one of my good blogs that's really hot and has been for months. It's an Outlook error. Here's another top one. And I got that old internet one. And then these all come down. These are pretty much, you can see the top blogs, but guess what this one's from? Remote support terms.
Okay, yeah.
I put that up on the Facebook group for the IT bug, and we got 127 clicks on that from that IT bug group. Isn't that something?
That's pretty cool.
Well, not all of them are from that, but I don't get that many clients that actually read down to this level. So, I mean, I know that the Facebook group, those people were interested. That's a lot. Yeah, so anyway, the top troubleshooting repairs, now I've got this kind of all over the internet now, so it's getting okay in clicks and stuff. But then you can view the full report. I'll do that here real quick. So then for the folks that are trying to see more detail down, you can go see what the next levels are of your, what's ranking high. Now, what you said earlier, Tom, is you got to watch to see what's trending. Well, that the blog for the time limit for logging on was reached. That one started creeping up, and I started wondering why. And I found out there was some kind of a glitch with Outlook. This was almost up to 1,000 at one point.
Wow.
Yeah, so of course what I do is I go and change that blog to say, call me. If it's a live blog, you can put whatever you want on there, So, all right, so let's scoot over to that user flow, and now we can I know you mentioned it. I don't even know how to run this.
So, change it from country.
Okay.
And do it by, for example, you can do like advertising, like an ad group, a campaign, or behavior, and you can look at how you acquired them.
Ooh, okay, let's do
like landing page.
Yeah. Okay, so
see, now what you're seeing is, like, for example, right in the second one down.
Yeah.
They started there at your homepage, and then you can see where in the interactions, they flowed out. Now, the down arrow means drop off. That means they hit that, and they didn't go any further.
Some of these people went over.
Yeah, you're seeing a whole lot of people hit that very top one, but they didn't go anywhere else on your website.
Yeah.
But if you hit the homepage, now you're looking at them seeing, okay, the next click was contact us. After that, it was, the publications, the tags. You're following where they're going for each one.
Oh, interesting. Very cool.
So you actually have, on the third one down, you have better flow because they start there and it leads them back to your homepage. And then you follow that person from your homepage, and you can see what you're doing is start page, interaction, second interaction, third interaction. Now, the people that on third interaction are ones you want to really look at for retargeting because they've dug into your website. So now those are the people that you go, okay, they're interested. They have now started all the way over here and wandered their way through my website. So they're really looking at my services, they're sizing me up. And the number doesn't have to be big. Like you said, there can be one guy looking for a migration, and you're like, hey, a couple migrations a week, and I'm a happy person.
Yeah, no kidding. Those migrations are good work.
Yeah. And so what you try to do is start developing behavior analysis off those people that landed 3 interactions in, because they're clearly digging around on your site for something.
Yeah.
They're looking at you, wanting to know the history, wanting to know some pricing, wanting to know maybe what you do. And then that's what you can, there's a right-click option for group details, and you can start breaking it down.
Okay, let me try that. So this one.
Okay, yeah, they want some proof. They run to your testimonials page because they read what you do. And now the next level, they go, okay, this person does the services I'm looking for. What do people say about them? And now they're flowing through to that. And
Yeah, look at 50 seconds on that page.
that means they spent some time reading it. So,
Yes.
and this is the details you want to know, because you're like, you know what, maybe I should throw a few more testimonials on there.
Yeah, screw that bounce rate. That's 50 seconds of,
Yeah.
That's only 7 people. That's good.
Yeah, and it doesn't take much, because it's all about, because you're a very focused, specialized, so it doesn't take you. If you had 7 large jobs come out of it in 1 week, you're happy.
Yeah.
Heading to the casino.
Not far for me.
Not far for you.
So this is really interesting here. And you know what I think what I would want to do is, if I was going to get deep into this, I'd want to go look at all my pages on my website, which if right now I'll just throw up the current Call That Girl website to kind of showcase. I have a real simple navigation bar here. Testimonials right at the top, which I used to not keep on there until I started having clients ask where it was. I was like, well, now it's right here, so you can't.
Yeah.
It used to be hiding over here because I didn't think anybody gave a shit. But actually, Tom, they do. They do give a shit.
Right there, you had people, and whenever you can try, and this is always the hardest part, especially for what we do, because there's not something we're selling online directly, so you don't always have that relationship between them and the actual final sale. Like, were they the same? Were the sale for the big migration, did it come from that one of those 7 people that spent 60 seconds reading through my testimonials? Hard to tell, but people are looking at it. And like you had mentioned before, I'm always shocked at how many technicians don't spend the time looking at that. And that's huge for your business, like understanding what people are looking at when they're looking at you digitally, to try and come up with that. Now, Facebook does have an advantage because I use conversion pixels from Facebook I have embedded in my website. Mm-hmm. That way I can do full tracking of my Facebook ads and Instagram ads and see what converted and brought those people actually to the pages for my call to action.
Wow.
So I'm using that. So I have a whole nother set of analytics I do on just Facebook.
Yeah, and I haven't done any of that stuff because I just don't think it's for I don't know, maybe it would be good for me, but right now I'm just busy as it is.
Yeah.
With what I'm doing. So I'm like, I just couldn't imagine having to deal with another whole new marketing. Which sounds like you already, you could have a whole show on that yourself.
Yeah. And that's, I'm slowly getting, one of the things, and someone told me curated is the wrong word, so I don't know what to call it. My Facebook, if someone says you don't curate people, I'm like, I don't know. Is that maybe I'm English impaired, but I filtered my list. So the people on my Facebook are a very niche group of people. I have a lot of what I can only describe as high-end CEOs and business people on my Facebook. So when I post stuff, my interactions are with executive level and even including political people.
Tom.
So I'm having conversations with other CEOs and business owners that are on there, as opposed to people who post cat memes. And I love cat memes too, but at some point I got to make some money.
See, here's another word for yours is either little racy is massaged your list. I like that.
Massaged it, yeah.
Massaged it. Another one is farmed it, or the word curated is, it's almost like you profiled your audience to be what you needed.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know how to do that. And again, laughing back to my Facebook fan page of 10,000 people I just got recently, I know at least half are in the United States. The other half are people from India who like the word call girl. Yep. Okay. So there you go. Those 5,000 people, a lot of those are from my original Facebook page that are real true people, So, yeah. I mean, that's something that for marketing, I could get that nailed down to only the U.S. I do know I've seen that in the promoted boost area, right?
Yep. Yes.
That's what you're talking about, is you can promote, pay the $20 and only get that to those people, right?
Yeah. Some of my ad spends on Facebook get up to $500-$600 a month, sometimes higher. And the results are amazing on it. God. I mean, just to give some perspective, probably a handful of ads. One of them's led to over $90,000 worth of business this year. I mean, oh my God. And that's so worth the $600. Yeah. People say, I can't believe you're spending much on Facebook. I'm like, my numbers are kind of big. I can quantifiably justify it. I can tell you the results are there. Don't be afraid to throw a few dollars on it. And, it's keeping, especially with the structured cabling jobs, if you've seen some of the videos we did on those, promoting those on Facebook, it's weird. So the Pokemon video, I think, has 5,000 or 6,000 views, and it led me a few sales and some interactions, which is cool. And I think almost 4,000 of the views were organic. I actually only spent $16 promoting Pokemon.
Oh my God.
$16, but the result was a massive amount of interaction. But then when you look at my structured cabling video, you only see several hundred views.
Yeah.
But one of those views
made a lot of money.
was worth $27,000 because they've seen it and they go, we want to contract you to do our next job. We love the work you did. We seen the work. The guy actually commented, and he was the CTO of a big company that's local. And he said, we seen the work you did, and we know it was your guys doing it because you filmed them doing it. And we thought that was really cool. And so they kind of got to not just hear a testimonial, it's a whole time lapse of us building out a project. Yeah. And that really got their attention. Mm-hmm. And even the one that I filmed that we built out, they were interested because before that we went to another one that was a smaller job. And I videoed, that was the first one I videoed because I always have to ask the client's permission and things like that. Yeah. So some of them are weird about it. And so as much as we've been doing this for years, I've only recently started really asking permission to do the video. But that's all been a stacking of leading up to bigger and bigger jobs.
Yeah. And the video is so cool for that they're seeing the text do it. And all of that, because I think people are starting to realize that they're going to the internet to find strangers, but these strangers are hireable.
Yeah.
And that's why I love the videos.
Yes.
I love it. You're proving you know your shit, you can do it, and you're going to be the one doing it. Or your company. Yeah, you're not going to farm it out, and you're not going to da-da-da. People are loving that. And Tom, you said you can boost that on Facebook, those videos, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Oh yeah, my Facebook stats, and they're actually publicly posted. I share stuff on IT Blog, but anything I share there, I won't lie, anything I share there, I do post publicly. So if I share any of that for all my statistics.
Yeah, I think something encouraged me to, I know what it was. I was on that Facebook thing, and I was like, well, which one would I boost to test, Well, I don't want to just put a blog out there. Mine would have to be something about exchange migration, something like that. And I could totally throw in $100 to test it. But the thing is, I hate to say this, is I'm wondering if I'm maxed out right this week. I'll just say with how much work I can handle. If the ad works, here I am going, oh my God, now I'm booked out for 2 weeks. And I can't have that kind of company, Tom. I could never have a company where I'm booked out 2 weeks. I just don't think I could run it myself. And you guys see that with your jobs, right?
For me, I've had kind of an entrepreneur spirit, and I've hired a lot of really, really smart people that I pay a lot of money. Yeah. And I run my business a little bit different. Corey, for example, runs my cabling projects. I don't care about details, and my employees know about that. I don't want to know. I'm an anti-micromanager. So I just give Corey the money, and he even decides how to pay everyone involved in the build out. Nice. I don't care. And he starts telling me, like, so-and-so did this, and I look at him, I do this, and he goes, I forget, you don't even care. So
I just trust him.
All I care about is the dollars. And my guys who run the store, I just need to know the dollars. Tell me how much I need to pay people, and the check will be ready for them. Tell me how much we have to spend with vendors, contractors, and they just, I make it very easy for them, but that's the only way I can run a business, because the people, if you run around trying to micromanage everyone, you go crazy. And I've had to learn to let go, to trust Steve, to trust Corey, to trust Kyle, to trust Cass, and make sure they're just going to do their jobs.
Yeah. How many guys you got?
7.
Nice. So for you to pull on $90,000 just from one ad for a year, that you could take that on. I'm thinking, God, if I put in advertising and got $90,000, I'd need another one of me, and that changed my whole thing right now. Like, I don't know if I can handle it, but I like that you can do that, and you can also play with the numbers. If you're starting to see businesses slowing down, you already know how to work the marketing trends to go pick up business.
Yes.
Yep.
Here, I'm gonna share real quick. Here's, like I said, with the Pokemon one. You look at the organic numbers on this, 4,229 and 1,254, but I only spent, so those are the details, but if you look what I actually spent on this, $10.
Nice. Oh my God.
All that interaction, 18 different shares and things like that. So when you scroll through some of them, it's funny too, like this one, people, Mac batteries that blew up. So we threw this on our Facebook page. This got a lot of attention, you know, a review of the new Google Inbox, or people like to watch us crushing things.
And how many views did that get? That was awesome.
That got quite a few too. And that same thing, a small boost. It's a little bit more on the paid, but still, 5,000 views overall. So a little over. Yeah, it's all about driving a little bit of interaction with this. This is still one of our super popular blog posts, how to turn off the Windows 10 annoyances. 17,000 people reached, and same thing. I spent a few dollars on it, but a lot of people, 118 likes, and that. These little things are just, you know, all the stuff that you push it.
Yeah, I like that you use a lot of different variety on your page too. Colors, things that are going to grab people's attention.
Yeah,
I mean, to me, you got a really nice page roll in there. Did you notice that they changed the page like in the last week again?
Yeah, there's so much changing going on, and it gets kind of crazy. But you know, like I said, we're always trying to change it up and do stuff. Like this is that cabling project. This one has the least amount of views, and
but the most money.
But the most money came from this because it landed us at one single job worth about $27K. It was just yeah, and it's just like, there you go. And this was a pretty high paying job too. We got paid really well on this, so the project overall was a great thing.
Yeah.
They actually the most views on the video came from their office. I shared it with the people there. And they just loved the video of us building out their office.
That's awesome. Let's just go back to that one again. Even look at the graphics you made, which you could tell you took the one for the cabling.
Yeah.
You spent, I don't even know who does your graphics. Do you do it?
Me. Oh yeah, I do everything myself. I do all my own video editing, post-production. I have about $5,000 worth of camera equipment. I got lights. I got soft boxes, everything.
But even just look at just the intro graphic, it looks freaking awesome. You know, I mean, it shows that you put in the time to make it look good. It's not choppy and, you know.
No, we put a lot of, and then everything on it is a time lapse.
Cool.
So there's like all the video work that went into actually how these guys built it all.
Dang. How long did that take to make?
The video or God, there's.
You did it while you were doing it, right? So.
Here's what's even now. My guy, these are cable installers, but they've all been trained how to operate my camera gear, and I give it to them in really tough Pelican cases. As Corey playing around with the camera, they dragged it through one of the holes. All they know is press a button and mount the camera, and it records. And then they just go around doing their job. So they've all been trained how to do it. And when they're done, they put it back into nice Pelican cases. And they literally throw it because they're wiring guys. And they put it back in the boxes. So it makes it really easy. And then they just give me the footage. The hard part is what to do with that much footage.
Yeah, so then you're really
into an actual usable video. But in the end, the end product of all this, showing off how the office was built out that we did, I actually walked through then and give a tutorial in the video of how we did everything step by step.
Tom, you're my hero. You're like my video graphics hero. That is just perfection in marketing, in my opinion, that you actually, at the very end, was like, now I'm going to give you the tour.
Yep, I do the time-lapse tour. It's the same process I do for, you know, all the little things like that.
So that one was definitely worth the time. That makes me want to rethink my crappy videos I've done now. But, you know, the thing is I can't, I cannot show my work. I cannot show the client's outlook, you know.
Right.
So if I could wear a GoPro thing on my head, it would be all blurred out.
Yeah, and that's where it gets a little tricky with me too. Yeah. So what we actually do is, like, for example, my LastPass video has thousands of views. It's a real popular video, and obviously I can't show the details of LastPass with my passwords in there. So I went through the trouble to create fake websites with logins so LastPass could populate it and then actually show you how it worked. So there's a little bit of things you have to do because I same thing with my clients. I couldn't just film it all of my clients either. No. You know, worries about trade secrets and stuff like that. So I stage things, I set things up, I put them together. It takes time to do it, but in the end result product is that much more. I have a whole tutorial on how I do my accounting with Linux and some of the back end stuff. And same thing, I had to blur everything out. I had to lock it all down. You can't just throw it out there. And so that's a big credit. There's a lot of post-production, so I understand why it can be daunting for people to really get into that. But on the same side, I'm as open as I can be. It makes me money.
Yeah. I try to be open too. And when I make my videos, let me just tell you that the most frustrating part is all of a sudden I'll be in the middle of one doing a how-to and freaking customer data pops up.
Yeah.
Like, so then I get all flustered and I have to start over, and it drives me nuts. Instead of just going, okay, I'll patch that later, I lose my whole train of thought because I'm so mad that I thought I got the data off, because I have a lot of PST files with client names in them.
Yeah.
Fixes I've done. So it's like, I almost did a video machine that's just for that, but I don't know. I've been doing a lot more of the videos, and it is daunting on me. I don't know how to do the graphics, but my guy Ray does that for me now. So I'm happy. But just for you to be able to do it all yourself, it's just it's awesome. I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, I've been doing video stuff. Secret about me, and if you Google enough, you'll find this. I spent 9 years as a professional photographer. While I had all this going, it was just something else I got into. So I've done over 300 weddings. I've been published a couple times. There's actually a Huffington Post piece about Detroit, and my son's on the front page of it because of some photos I did with him.
Oh my God.
So I love art. So
you got 9 lives. They're real. You got 9 real lives, Tom. That's awesome. I could tell that you like the camera and that's, like I said, it shows on your Facebook personal page too, which I can kind of tell when people like you actually enjoy what you're out doing, that you take pictures and stuff. And that's like the smiling face of social media. You know, I don't get out enough to do that right now.
The thing is, the key to social media is it is social, it is personal. Too many people focus on, these really generic looking cookie cutter things they just keep publishing over and over again. The goal is to draw engagement.
Yeah.
The last video I started playing, I lit the hard drive on fire. And then we made a B-roll of it because we made some horrible choices lighting a hard drive on fire because my friend thought he could put it out in a way that didn't really work. And he set fire on it. And then he burned his fingers, and the camera was rolling. So we said, okay, and we put that together, and that got a whole bunch more views because people are laughing at me for lighting myself on fire, which I've done more than once now.
People like that kind of instant fun stuff.
Yeah,
they totally do. Okay, Tom, I got a couple more questions here for you. Let's see. Well, we haven't even looked at the list. That's how free talking this went. I love it. I think we covered some Google stuff, some YouTube, some Facebook. So what would you say right now is like your top marketing that works? Top.
So much of my engagement is coming from my constant interaction with people on Facebook and communication with them. And this goes on my personal Facebook. Well, it's I like to call it living your brand. Yeah. So people know me as a tech guy. So people just constantly throw tech questions at me. So that drives a lot of the good business relationships. Yeah. People still buy from people they like, and they're going to Google to an extent. I'm doing the best I can on the Google. We're getting a lot of hits. I got the Google AdWords has been great for driving a lot of the traffic. Hard to get good conversions out of it though. It does drive big numbers, but it doesn't get some of my biggest jobs have all been from these things, like seeing that video. Yeah. They made a connection. We had some mutual friends. So I had a friend requesting the guy and became like, we started talking through Facebook before we actually met in real life for me doing the job. Yeah. So there's an element of, yes, it came from Facebook. Yes, it's kind of personal. The jobs we get from our Google Analytics are usually just the smaller ones because they're people a little bit of price shopping, but they want some quality and they know infrastructure is important. So they Google us and go, hey, look, those guys. My landing page for structured cabling has those videos embedded in it. All my YouTube videos get re-embedded all over my website. Yeah. So anywhere I have the words for the SEO, and then I have the video for those who don't like to read.
Exactly. And people like watching because no one likes to read anymore.
No one wants to read anymore. And because I try to make the videos entertaining, and it starts out with a time lapse with graphics that make you want to click. So it's all feeds into it.
I like those graphics too. I was like, I'd watch it, not even like cabling.
Yeah.
It's because I like the graphics. It look fun. That's
Yeah,
what
it
I
looks
want to try
fun.
to
And
say.
then you see a bunch of guys in a time lapse in a big white empty building turning it into a finished office.
Yeah,
So
it looked nice. It was very impressive. I talked to Ray, my photo or my graphics guy, and said, okay, now that I'm seeing something work here, I need to invest money into getting it done professionally because everybody tries to do things on the cheap. I'll admit, me too. I
yeah,
love doing my blogging, but I did start to notice that if I'm starting to get calls from clients that are liking the cheap stuff, how many are going to feel attracted to the quality work?
right.
You know, because they're gonna be like, hey, that looks like a freaking awesome video now that I've spent some bucks. And that's where I find that I do like spending money on things that work. I mean, I spend thousands of dollars a year on marketing stuff, even though
Yeah.
I might be doing it myself, like video stuff and all that. So, well, I haven't dove into the Facebook stuff yet, Tom. I'm getting a little nervous that I'm going to want to, but I think I definitely need a class on it. I think I'd start with the boost post. That's what you did, right, in the beginning?
Yeah, the boost posts are easy until you drill down. When
Yeah.
you start doing the drill downs, they're amazing, and they get. Oh man, I have specific ads that only target small business owners in my area and things like that. I mean, you can get demographically very specific with your
Really?
target ads because Facebook knows everything about you.
Oh, I
And
know. You see how many diet things I get on Facebook. I don't even use the word fat in my profile, and I get diet stuff. They have image
Facebook
profilers.
buys. You got to remember, Facebook buys because this is what's even creepier. And I have this in one of my videos for the drill down. It's even creepier because Facebook buys data from all kinds of third-party sources that are collecting it, and then tries to match the data up with you to figure out who the anonymous survey is related to. And I break this down in one of my videos on how to run a Facebook ad and in depth. And when you start looking at it, because it tells you source of data is either Facebook or some of their third-party sources that they purchased. So they really give you an insider's look. It's almost creepy because the general public doesn't know how much aggregated data there is behind Facebook. So
Yeah.
that whole algorithm ranking, but they give it to you because you can go, and I actually help several of my friends' businesses with their social media. And one of the things we've done, for example, for a photographer, we can focus on life events. And I did this for a hall rental and anyone who works in the wedding industry, because I have a lot of contacts in there. We set a Facebook ads for them that targeted people who said they got engaged. That was the only criteria.
Oh, wow.
Because if you get engaged in about 1 year, you're going to need a hall, you're going to need a photographer, and anything else in the wedding. So you can set up the ads so specific to people making life announcements of engagement, and then you just hammer down the ads on those people because you're doing it geographically to your service area, especially halls. You know, people aren't going to go maybe 30 miles from their house for a hall. They're not going to drive real far. So you get some really narrow areas, and all of a sudden you're only spending a few $100s, but they had incredible conversion rates. Because, hey, there's a hall popping up and we just got engaged. It's amazing. Facebook knows what's going on.
I know. Facebook. I'd like to use the word my Outlook crashed because I know that those are 3 words that people use all the time.
Right.
Oh, I'm so mad. My Outlook just crashed. Poof, ad.
Exactly.
I love that. Poof, ad. I'm right there. Tom, that's the thing is I'd have to get very specific because not a lot of people go onto Facebook and say, I need an Outlook expert. You know what I mean? But they type in the words that they are having problems with.
You know, what I was looking into on your blogs here, one of the things that got me a lot of hits, when there was a bug in Outlook because of an update that broke it, and then Microsoft had to re-release a patch, I put a post together of how to fix it with the IDs in the part of it, and that still drives a lot of traffic for people searching for Outlook because it's the crash ID. I actually took it and typed it out into my blog, how to fix Microsoft Crash ID this, and that drove a lot of traffic because they're Googling the Outlook crash, like you said, but then they're throwing in the error code numbers.
Yeah, I do a lot of error code work. In fact, I try to, anytime I find a good error that I fix, I'll go and compare it to other people's fixes and be like, oh, well, I can get on page 1 now because I have a good authority word with Outlook and all the other top words. So I usually rank on page 1, admittingly, easy if I do it right.
You see, I'm looking at when you did it where you put the knowledge-based numbers in there, which is perfect. That's the kind of stuff that you need because it was for your hotfix missing for anonymous authentication and Outlook mail control panel. And those little things like that really do help a lot when you put the error code numbers in there and the knowledge-based numbers because people are searching for them.
Oh,
and
totally.
You're nailing it right there. I scroll down a little. You got the video. You got the schedule time with Lisa. You know what you're doing.
Dude, I'm a marketing gal. Let me show you guys. I'm going to screen share my videos. Hold on. I got to find which screen share I got it on. Well, the thing is I learned was, tell me if you could see my screen here.
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing I learned about YouTube and Google is that they're brother sister. And you definitely, and I don't mind showing my analytics here of the, here's my next video coming out, is the same thing I sit and cook, People find it and it'll take some time, but let me scroll down to, so here you can tell it's getting colorful. I was like, oh, let's show some pictures of me because that's really me. I don't know if I'm going to do that all the time, but, I start with the simple ones and they have short views, but then give it a year or two and then they got thousands.
Yeah.
Like this one I just did 4 months ago, 1,500. It's not a top ranking one, but look at that error. Now go Google that right now. Outlook cannot log on. And I should have 2 place marks in Google. I should have my blog will be on page 1 for sure. And maybe the video, but I don't think the video made it yet.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing is you have the videos there. And especially because when you're focused or you're specialized in something, it's a little bit different because you don't need to have 10,000 views. No. You need to have that one viewer who's got money.
Yeah.
That one guy who's like, I will contract you to do the work. Because it's not like you're fixing 10,000 copies of Outlook. No. You're fixing a handful of businesses that are in a bind that you have the solution for.
Yep. And that's why these little ones here, how to clear all filters applied with IMAP and Outlook. I didn't know how to write that one. But you know what? How to clear all filters. I got all the big words.
Yep.
That's all that matters.
Exactly.
And then I've got the 2,800 or whatever, but my blogs have more. So what I did was in this blog, I actually added the video to it as a little bonus because I was like, well, some people are not going to like having to read it out when they can watch it. So I put them together, and here's the hotfix YouTube video right there, 4,000 views. Not bad. Then I go back down a little bit more, and I got how to share and exchange an Outlook on iPhone. That one's a hot one. I don't know how that one became hot, but it just started bursting. So I like that.
You know what, though? That's a big deal because it's not simple as it should be.
No. And I have a blog on that doesn't have anywhere near the clicks.
Which, like we said, YouTube is where people are finding things. It probably ranks higher.
Well, you got to think of what people are going to want to do, either follow instructions or watch. And so don't waste your time like I've done spending one time I spent 4 hours on a 2-minute video, Tom. You know how much it drove me nuts because I kept making mistakes. So I was finally like, okay, I'm doing this wrong.
That's true. You just got to get good at the editing part and you chop it all back apart.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Now, you know what I started doing is said, I'm not going to show people how to fix things anymore. I'm going to talk to them. So on my videos on YouTube, I stopped showing how to fix. I talk about the stories and how I did it, and then I have them call me. I changed it because the video editing, it wasn't a value. I wanted them to call me instead. It just made more sense. So that's kind of how I've been working that angle of it, I guess. But I've been loving the YouTube, definitely.
Everything's good on YouTube.
I know.
It's more than people falling down. It's
oh man.
Which of course is a whole funny genre unto itself.
Well, I started my channel in 2008, and my first video was funny. It was something about backing up your computer, and I was like, I'm gonna do a weekly YouTube. I was all excited till I realized I didn't like the editing and all that. So my channel has been out a long time, but just doesn't have like a lot of subscribers. But
yeah,
when people start saying they saw my video, I'm like, I don't care how many subscribers when they paid me money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not out to make a lot of money on YouTube. I'm out to make money from the clients.
Right. It depends on how you monetize it. So my cousin has a YouTube channel. That's like her living. And she does really well with it. She actually had a brick and mortar business and she sold it because it was standing in the way of her making more money on YouTube.
No kidding? And she makes money off YouTube?
Huge. I mean, like really, really good money. We'll talk offline if you want to know dollars.
Oh my God. Awesome. I do. I love those kind of people.
She sold her big brick and mortar restaurant because it was in the way of her making more videos.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And she was doing really well. I mean, they own nice new cars, nice stuff. And
yeah, well, we saw what happened we saw what happened to those computer boys last year, a year and a half ago, when Microsoft was trying to get all their videos down and stuff. Oh. You got to be careful on ownership of that shit.
Yeah, that's the thing. See, they're doing dog videos. They make all their money with their dogs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that offline.
I'll
fill everybody in later.
Things that because I host her website, and her stats you just are more than blown away with.
Really?
Yeah. They're insanity.
Wow.
So
I want to see it.
300,000, almost 300,000 subscribers.
How many views though? That's the subscriber. Millions. I don't think matters.
Oh yeah, millions of views.
And that's what matters. The millions.
Literally millions of views. They have over 1,000 videos, 1,053 videos right now.
Oh my God.
And like I said, they make a living off of it.
Damn. I know a few guys that make a lot of good side money off it. The only ones I know that are big is like Computer, the Eli guy, or what is his name? Eli?
Yeah, Eli, the computer guy.
I said it wrong. I think he does. And there's a few other dudes I follow. The Linus guy, what is his name?
Louis Rossman.
Well, yeah. I'm not sure I love Lewis anymore.
No?
No, he's been getting real negative. Well, he's always negative, but...
Yeah, he's always had his little...
Yeah. But, I mean, they're kind of like the YouTube famous people, that I don't know. It's kind of like watching a TV show,
Yeah, some of them are. Casey Neistat and some of those people are awesome.
Oh, Casey, yes.
While we were sitting here, I logged in, so... she gets over a million, about a million hits a month almost.
No
1.1 million. That's her website because I host it.
Yeah.
So yeah, wow. 1.1 million hits a month on our website.
Oh my God. For dog.
And we could talk about it. I mean, me and her, we were just hanging out a couple weeks ago because she parked her car at my house to go to VidCon because she lives in northern Michigan and I live by the airport. So I shuffled them over to the airport so they didn't have to pay for the airport parking.
Cute. Well, if you're doing all that stuff for her, I mean, does she even know the value of all that kind of stuff on the website?
Oh yes, she is excellent at marketing. She broke the website, and she went over the bandwidth limit, and she messaged me. She's like, "Hey, my site's down." I'm like, and I had a warning that popped up, and she popped on there minutes later because she sells. She's really good at monetization, so she sells things. So she sold these limited edition socks, and so many hits came to the website, and she sold so many hundreds of pairs of socks. It went over the bandwidth limit on the website.
Oh my God, it's like Shark Tank stuff.
Yeah, she just got a deal with Liquid Plumber for featuring them. They reached out to her. She's been on Animal Planet a couple times. I mean, she really, really does well with this.
Wow, that's cool. That's like new school business, Yeah. Yeah, I like that too. It's where I kind of am hoping I can start finding a little different niche with all this. I'm playing, Tom, and that's what you're doing. Is you're playing. Yes. It's fun. It's playing business, but it's both. And I'm trying to find the next thing I want to do that's a little more fun. So I've been keeping my eyes open.
Yeah, no, we'll talk afterwards because I'll share the stats with you because I can share stuff personally. I don't know if she would ever, not that I think there's any connection between our audience and hers, but she doesn't care if I share her web stats, but I know some of her monetization information. We talk a little bit about how that works. And it's I learned a lot just sitting down, have lunch with her. And she's very open about how it all works. So,
well, most people that are like us, we do like sharing. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a business owner. And she's got a background in business. So business and marketing is what her degree's in. Very cool. Her restaurant's amazing. She sold it to her brother. So it's not like she really got rid of it, but she doesn't run it anymore at all. She sold to him, but their restaurant has a line out the door every day.
And who is she to you? Your sister?
They live in Alpena, Michigan.
No, who is she to you?
My cousin.
Cousin. I thought you said sister. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
So she built that company up really big with that business, and on the side she started doing this thing with her dogs and the Jeeps because they do this whole Jeep off-roading thing.
Oh my God.
Then that level of marketing turned into we're making money, we're meeting people, and then it got so big. She's like, God, we don't have time for this because we have a restaurant to run. Which one are we going to choose? And they like doing the YouTube videos so much more. And they said there came a point where that started making them more money than a restaurant that was that busy. Like they have one of those delis that got dining and everything, and they're swamped because they do deliveries for all the local businesses because they're in a downtown historic district. They're right in the middle of it. So they're the only place around that serves the kind of food they serve. So they just have all this business there. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah, sorry, the sun is starting to get in my eyes here.
I've seen that.
I can tell. Like I flipped my things the wrong way. I have here a plantation, plantation shutter, so it totally like shuts the sun out because in Vegas it is so hot.
Yes.
Every day. Which by the way, Tom, I do bitch about my my heat problem every show a little bit. Because I have to have some consistency. It's a bitch about the weather, the heat, which hasn't rained here in 6 weeks. So it's
really bad. I was so thrilled we had a drought, and I'm like, yay, because it rains a lot here in Michigan. And I don't like rain. I like drought.
Yeah, it's a moist area, no doubt. Which I'm kind of just waiting for the fall to come so I can just get some relief. And I'm in my 3rd month of the heat, and I'm making it, but it's a lot. It's daunting. And I've got 3 humidifiers blazing. I was saying earlier pre-show, I drink like 8 of these or more. I mean, I never feel satisfied.
Yeah.
Like I could drink water till every single minute, and I'm just like, I'm still need it. It's very weird. I never thought I'd feel this before.
Well, you work remotely. Pick a better location. I'm just going to throw it out there.
Yeah, I know. Well, remember, I was in the Keys. That was awesome. And then I was in Miami, and I don't know. It is fun remote, though. I did, I don't know if you knew, I traveled for the 14 months. So
okay.
I worked in my truck for 2 long haul cross country remote. Oh. Yeah. No migration work, though. I learned you got to have internet that's going to be very strong to do a migration. So I made me nervous being on the road. No.
You're connected for so long. We do migrations as well. It's funny because being in business for 13 years means the clients that we put servers in on-premise exchange for and things like that, we're now doing cloud migration and retiring those servers off of their network, all these years later. We sometimes go on site, we queue everything up, we set everything up remotely, and then we just monitor it remotely once we're done.
Let me ask you this real quick. Do you guys do managed services for all your migrations, or is it just like a one-off and they're done?
Both. So it all depends on which one we are. So if it's part of a managed service plan, because out of our clients, it's kind of a split. Some are on managed services, some are just break fix, call us when they need us, and things like that. So I never understood I have a meeting with a potential sales rep, but where the company she left, their thing was they exclusively do managed services. Yeah. And she always found it to be hard as a salesperson because they had these very strict criteria. If you didn't match those criteria, that's it. Well, the company kind of tanked, and that's how she got free again. And tanked / got bought out by another company because they weren't really making the numbers they wanted. But someone wanted the client base that they did have, so they just got absorbed so they don't have to deal with it no more. But she's like, as a sales rep, she goes, it's really hard to sell because they give me these really strict criteria. And we're like, we whore around, we'll take everyone. Why not?
Yeah. I can't do MSP, but I do the break fix. And then a lot of people at the end, they're like, yeah, we don't want to pay you anymore. And I'm like, well, then you don't get that fast service next week when you have a problem.
Yeah. It just depends on what they want, Yeah, exactly. And my more tech savvy clients, sometimes they don't need anything. I mean, literally they're running all the antivirus, all the updates. They manage everything themselves really well. We have some engineering companies that we do break fix for. They're high level CAD engineers. Yeah. They don't have silly computer problems. They're working very complicated 3D modeling and design. These are highly educated people who are very tech savvy. So they don't bother with our managed services. If they have a problem, it's because something really didn't turn on. And they'll pay us to come out and fix it.
Oh, exactly. I got some AutoCAD clients too, man. And these guys have no problem paying to get that support. I love those guys. Next to lawyers, I think they're my second favorite.
Lawyers are weird because they just argue a lot.
Not me.
Really?
I love
No.
them. Oh, I just picked up one. I just picked up another one today. You know what? I don't like using the word profiling, but if I see a request come in from a law firm, I'm like, I just go right for the 4-hour pitch, which a nice 4 hours, $500 for me, Tom. It's enough for them to go, yeah, let's give her a shot.
Yeah.
Because you know what? But they're going to use it, and I don't lose many. And to me, it's an immediate $500 sale. And the problems, they usually have tech guys like you that are the, I'm not saying like you, but a lot of them have tech guys that they're experiencing a problem that the tech guys don't know.
Right.
Outlook could be anything. And then I go,
you know, and a smart tech guy knows when to outsource something. And when I was an IT director, I had that all the time because that was like some of the management meeting or why don't you just know how to do this? I'm like, because it needed to be done. It needed to be done now. And, you know, we were a 6.5 company. So we were open 24 hours a day. We closed Saturday at 5 p.m. and we reopened Sunday at 5 p.m. So we only had 12 hours of downtime. So anything that happened was critical to the company. So when things that were outside of my scope, I immediately had all these people on call on contractors. Some of them, you know, because this is 2002 before we really had MSP, but I would have them on retainer and they knew. They also, I had a reputation for paying them really well and really fast. So they never had a problem giving me good service.
That's right.
Like, Tom guy, he takes care of us vendors.
Oh yeah, well I've had some tech guys actually call me and say, I just want to buy a ticket just to have you in case I need you.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool, because like you, they're like, I don't know everything in the world. So that when you set the expectations with the clients, like what I say is, the prepaid ticket goes so far. If it's outside of my scope of my knowledge range of what I can fix quickly, I'm not going to do it. Because that puts you in jeopardy of your computer maybe not being serviced right, and I don't want to be responsible for a job I don't know. Like Windows 10, a lot of that stuff is way too outside of my interest level now.
Windows 10, the stupid start button of death. We just had another one of those today.
Yeah. The what circle of death? The
start button of death.
I haven't seen that, no.
So it's funny. This, if I'm not mistaken, there's a Washington Post article I seen about it. The problem's gotten so bad with Windows 10 that they published it in one of the big, you know, regular news media outlets. Wow. What happens is, for no particular reason, Microsoft is aware of the problem and does not have a fix. You go to click the little start button in Windows 10, and it says a critical error has occurred.
I haven't seen that.
That's all it will do. Now, here's the weird part. You can open up anything that's already pinned to the launcher or on the desktop, but that's it. You can't use Cortana. You can't click the start button, and that's it. You're dead. You're stuck.
Oh, my God.
Microsoft's answer, reload.
Oh, after they just had it reloaded by somebody and other apps put on, other settings done, and everything's configured for perfection.
Yeah.
You know, Tom, guess what I've come across? There's not a new glitch, but it's been not talked about yet and anywhere, is the mail applet in the control panel for Outlook 2013 doesn't open. Oh my God. And guess what? I can't tell who's going to have that problem till I go into to click it.
Yeah.
I don't know of a way to say magically it doesn't work. So all of a sudden I'll be in a computer and I'm like, oh, guess what? We get to do safe mode for a few weeks. Awesome. Awesome. We get to do safe mode, which I'm like, this is your only choice. And I've tried to figure out some ways to get the profiles to stay with the new one because, you know, you have a choice in safe mode. But
yeah,
I'm like, dude, this is not my problem, and Microsoft cannot fix this. So you are stuck, but I fixed your problem. You know what I mean?
So we're working on, I need to document it because one of my guys came up with a fun hack. The way we get around the start button of death without reloading is activating from the command line, adding another user to Windows 10, and then copying everything over to the other user.
Makes
sense.
And
it doesn't break a second time.
So you think it's a profile break?
It's something in the profile that causes it, but here's what's weird. If the profiles are created at the time, it usually affects all the profiles and they all have it, but the new ones you create don't have it.
Oh.
So we've been really trying to solve the problem because Microsoft, it literally is an old problem that they don't have an answer for.
Oh, is it compatibility mode?
Yeah. just like you just can't open things anymore. And to think that it actually reached a primary news outlet, like, oh yeah, Microsoft's aware of the problem, and Windows 10 people are like, Microsoft, you pushed us into this, you forced it down our throat, you auto upgraded us to this, and it's not ready for prime time, and you have problems that you can't solve.
Oh my
That's
God,
what
that's
makes
funny.
the business community, they're losing confidence in the company.
Oh, that's funny.
But they're also realize they're married to it, and they can't get out. It's a messy divorce.
Oh my God. Well,
yeah.
I found that here's what the best part was is I've downgraded so many people from 16 to 13 just to get shit to function. And
yes.
Now I can't fix anything until this glitch is fixed. The clients have all been cool though. They're like, we get it. And I say it's a documented thing. And I'm like, how come no one else is talking about this? Have you seen it anywhere? This glitch with the control panel app, the mail applet?
Not much.
Oh.
But we really, most of the time when we're setting up Outlook, it's like we've had when they break things, we almost always, because they are on, an Office 365 account, we just uninstall and reinstall Outlook. Like we just remove it, delete the profiles, can it, reset it back up. That has been, it's kind of, it's a nuke and pay version of just Outlook, but it's for our guys, it's just the quickest, easiest way to fix it because everything just syncs again, and away it goes.
I know.
Our problems, we've had some really stupid problems with Office 365. We had one of Microsoft's nodes in our server farm got on a spam list.
Nice.
Yeah, and Microsoft is absolutely useless. I posted on Reddit, and everyone's like, yeah, it happened to me too, and different node. And they're like, good luck. They said, you just have to bitch until they fix it and tell your client, choose something other than Outlook 365 next time. Thank you.
Nice. Yeah, it's kind of like Microsoft builds something to break it to keep us working, so they build something else, and it's just like this big circle. And my favorite is that you can't get 16 to connect in Exchange to connect in 16.
Yeah.
I get that all the time. And I'm just like,
that's one of those things like, you guys made this product. You made both products. How do they not work together?
They don't. And whatever genius that programming developed, hey, let's take away the manual way to set up Office 365. That was fucking brilliant.
Yeah, let's hide that.
Let's hide it. Wait, is it hidden or is it gone? They removed it.
As far as I know, it's not there. Someone said you can do it manually with registry entries, but I don't know that that's true.
Okay, so
and the reason this is the reason I know that. So this was hysterical. This was at least me being. I couldn't help it because I chuckled and she was mad. The customer was mad, but I couldn't help it because she knew I was right. So the owner is a company that was set up on Google Apps.
Yeah,
got bought by a new owner. The new owner loves nothing but Outlook and thinks Google is the most evil, horrid company on the planet. Like they should be gone. I can't believe the government hasn't broke them up. That's her attitude on Google. Whatever. And so the migration was to get them set up on Office 365 and hosted, Exchange, everything else. So when the day I came to do the migration and setup, it wouldn't set up the users and it wouldn't give them an error. It just kept spinning and spinning and telling me it was wrong. So we finally got in Microsoft support, which took almost 30 minutes for them to respond. I used their live chat support and they said, what's the problem? I told them and they said, oh, our servers are down. We can't add any new users. And I looked over at her and I just smiled and she's just like, shut up. I'm like, I'm not joking. She thought I was joking about reading it off the screen. She comes over, looks over my shoulder because we were actually on site doing this. And because they don't like things done remotely, weird client, but they were willing to pay the rate to have us out there migrating. I said, and she goes, money's not an object. I said, well, then I'll see you in about half an hour.
And I'll bring my 4 or 5 techs with me.
Yeah. So it's just funny. You look over at her and she's just like, she's livid because we're there. We're supposed to finish it. And we can't because Microsoft, and then she goes, when's it going to be fixed? So I typed exactly what she said, when's it going to be fixed? And he goes, we don't have an ETA on this problem.
Nice.
And I'm just like, what? I said, I guess you'll just have to keep using evil Google for a little while longer because we can't switch to mail records yet. And she just rolled her eyes.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're hijacked and kidnapped at the same time.
Yeah,
you can't do anything. And
I'm like, how do they have downtime like that? I mean, just we can't. And what's weird is they said their existing users were fine. There's just no way to add a new user because what it was broken specifically was that the users they can log into the Outlook web app, like the web interface worked fine. So the users are technically set up, but you couldn't add Outlook because Outlook would not do, it would just sit and spin instead of actually finishing adding the user. And like you said, if there was a manual way for me to put this in, so that's what I spent some time Googling because she told me to. And I said, hey, I'm by the hour. I'll Google stuff. I said, I'll use Google to try and figure out a workaround for Microsoft's down server.
Oh my God, I'll Google stuff.
Like I said, and that's how I'm verbally saying this to her because I can't help but be a smart ass because it's so amusing to me and my guys. Like, we are loving this, and we shouldn't, I know.
I know. Hey, it's not like we say, hey, let me go bang that real quick.
Yeah.
I don't bang. I banged it. Oh, I banged that. I couldn't find it.
Yeah. You know what Bing stands for, don't you?
Bada Bing?
But it's not Google.
Oh.
It's an acronym.
Well, I guess I don't know what Bing does mean. What is it?
But it's not Google. That's the acronym.
Are you kidding me? Okay, I catch it now. Oh my God. But it's not Google.
But it's not. It's an acronym.
Yeah. Is that their
still number one in porn search, all right?
What's that?
The results. I don't know if you knew that. Look that up. That's a fact. They're number one for people searching for naughty stuff.
Bing is?
Yeah.
Why is that, you think?
Bing doesn't filter the results, and it's kind of like the kind of the inside joke is this: why filter them? That's the only thing we got people coming here for. Fine, at least you're coming here.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, yeah, exactly. I think a lot of people, the reason why they Bing instead of Google is, you're right, the history doesn't show up. And I would think that if you were being naughty, that someone doesn't know how to go into the Bing stuff is easy.
No, I know it's very different because with Google, they know Google's logging all.
Yeah.
And then your
tracking.
Google search history ties to your phone. So people, the stuff they type into the Google search, they go look in their phone, they hit recent search, with the Android syncing, and they're like, oh, I guess I did look for that. So they realize, and people are becoming very aware that that's how Google works.
Yeah.
They keep an entire report on everything. So just wandering over to Bing is probably a lot easier for them.
No, they're not going to track me in Bing because no one cares.
No one cares. The government's not asking for your Bing search records.
No, exactly. All right, Tom, well, let's do this here. Let's close up the show because we didn't follow any of the topics on my list. It was just a free talking show, which I loved.
But we did talk about, we covered some page analytics. We talked about some stats. We talked about some YouTube right. and the power of that and the power of video. So we created a new list.
Exactly. And for those that, are listening, I do have usually a little topic outline, but I'd love that the free talk usually, goes to it. And we did cover most of it just in different ways. So awesome. I was like, Tom, you got to be on the show. And then let me create an outline real quick, though. I don't know what we're going to do. All right, folks. Well, let me close the show up here. Tom, do you have anything else you want to say? Pitch your stuff, whatever?
No, I think that's about it. If you want to reach out to me, have questions, comments, tell me I'm an idiot, whatever, go to my website and all my links are there to find me.
Cool. I'll put the links out too when I get the show up. All right, this has been a Heyman Hendrickson production. Audio supported by Mitch Heyman. Thank you to our sponsor, AppRiver. If you have a story you want to share or be a guest on the show, contact me, Lisa at callthatgirl.biz. If you need any tech help with migration work, Outlook expert, you can call me at 612-865-4475. That's it. See you next time, folks.